Go.
What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of Nerdy Entertainment Syndicate. Today, no headquarters today. We're actually sitting in the offices of Nelson and Murdoch waiting for our lawyers to come in. Got in some legal trouble.
God, man, does he not know how to tell time?
I don't know what's going on. We got another special guest with us today. Two little guests. You hear little whispers in the background. Our star from one of our first episodes. You could probably hear her being edited out of the podcast. Go ahead and introduce yourself, special guest.
Hi, I'm Mike. Go by the screen name CannnedGoooodz for Xbox Live, but 34 years old, going about to be 35. Started getting into comic books and stuff like that when I was in junior high. What really got me into comic books and this whole genre was actually the Infinity Gauntlet.
Infinity Gauntlet?
Yeah.
How did you see that?
The comic books?
Oh, was it through just watching the comic book?
Yeah, I was reading the comic books. Really got into it, like how everyone got involved and how.
What year was that actually?
I want to say right past like 97, give or take. I'm not too sure, but all I know is when I started doing that, I just became a total nerd. Favorite games: BioShock, Assassin's Creed, stuff like that.
Very nice.
So your introduction to this world was the Gauntlet. So that pretty much opened your eyes. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. There's always a fun way to find out what their beginning is.
The origin story, we like to call it.
Yeah.
So you got into mainly the comics, or did it just introduce everything to you?
It really introduced me, and then as soon as I started reading it, my dad showed me his collection of comics. He had the first Silver Surfer. He had the first Amazing Spider-Man. He showed me those.
Wow.
And yeah, my dad's a big comic book nerd and still has a lot of his comic books.
I was gonna ask, does he still have like that big old collection?
Now they're not worth anything because they're torn to pieces. But yeah, he still has them.
That's cool to just like have the actual original copies, even if they're not like mid condition or anything. But how about you said you started around 97 with this Infinity Gauntlet?
About.
And did that make you go back? Because we talk about like a lot of like the Batman stuff, like 89 and Tim Burton stuff. Did that make you go back to
It did.
previous stuff?
Yeah, all the old Batmans and stuff like that made me want to catch back up in reading and stuff like that. Nowadays, watching people's podcasts about how they interpret it, it's pretty neat to see how their point of view of what's going on.
It's there's tons of that stuff. And, like you get tons of different like viewpoints and opinions and point of views about like one character. You get like 10 different iterations of.
And that's good because it opens your eyes to think about like, wow, I never thought about it that way. You know, this character has more dimensions than I originally thought.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man.
So what are you currently like following comics right now?
I had to take a break because I started medic school.
Okay.
So I haven't really been on any kind of console or anything like that. Just been studying, but as soon as it's over, I have to catch up on a lot of reading.
Up until I guess a couple weeks ago, we started school. We're in the same class together, medic school. But what comics were you reading or following, and what were you doing?
TV shows was The Flash and Arrow. They were really good.
Awesome shows.
Love it. I really thought that this season 2 of Flash was really good. How they introduced things. Really wish they would have had Wally West as gaining his powers as Kid Flash, and that would have been neat.
Los, are you caught up on season 2?
No. So like, please don't spoil it.
Okay. So,
well, the character of Wally West is on the show, but yeah.
But also, have you been watching Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones, last episode was by far the best episode of a season finale.
You know
for
what?
them.
You know what though? And I keep saying this. This is the best season I've seen of Game of Thrones. It is legit And that second last episode, the Battle of the Bastards. Oh my god, that was amazing. But this last season finale was like Jesus. It's just God, the direction they can go.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just really sad that you think about 13 episodes left, 2 seasons with 6 episodes on one season and 7 on the next. They should have had a full season, but I don't know if their time limits is going to extend the actual length of the episodes to make it like compensate.
Right.
But all I know for now is we have 13 episodes until for the next 2 seasons.
So each season will be 13 episodes.
No, each
It's
season
13 total
13
Total 13.
for the next 2 seasons.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're just making an hour and 30 minutes.
Let's hope,
Let's just hope they do that.
because they have a lot of things to cover, like a lot of things to cover. Like,
Well, they're past the where the point of the books is at, right?
yeah.
So
Pretty much half the season is already
Mm-hmm.
their own thing, with help of Martin and all that stuff like that. But yeah, this is all whole uncharted territory. So this is where everybody's like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So
you think this could actually be this next following season until the end of it will be completely different from what George is going to write if he continues to write?
well, he's already said it's already branched off. George has already said they're already branching off. It's gonna be completely different.
Because that would be weird if he then writes the books that were season 7 and 8.
Yeah, so no, he already stated though. He already said in plenty of interviews that it's pretty much already branched off. Because before they start shooting a season, they're already saying like, oh, okay, he's their feedback guy, so he's already saying then go ahead or not.
Yeah, I'm still on season 4 of Game of Thrones.
Man, you really
Trying to
need to
catch up.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I've heard nothing but good things about this season. Los just keeps raving about those last 2 episodes.
it was pretty amazing. I mean, so many things happening, and I can't give you without spoiling it. So I mean, you really need to watch it. Really need to watch it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna spoil it for you though.
Yeah, I'm okay with spoilers because with my old age and dementia, I forget.
We're gonna say spoiler
I forget
for those
what
who haven't seen it.
what I heard by the time I get to watching it.
But Cersei, the whole thing,
Yeah,
blowing up.
the town and just making sure his son stays alive, but he kills himself.
That
That
was-
backfired, but she didn't even care. I don't think.
Yeah,
anymore.
that was crazy. Well, she's so into her own that she's like, all right, I'm the queen now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be queen. You don't want to give me power? I'll take power. It was pretty intense on that going on, and they showed Bran for a brief moment of like the history of how Jon Snow was born and stuff like that, which was neat. But I wanted to see a little bit more on Jon Snow and like how Ned Stark's sister was actually who she was involved with. We always assumed it, but now it's kind of like confirmed.
Yeah, it was something that fans kind of you can easily get it. It wasn't like they were trying to keep it a very tight secret, but it's something from the beginning you're like, all right, you kind of tell what's going on.
I've heard about that fan theory that was out there before.
Right, and we talked about it too. Yeah,
about who Jon Snow could possibly be and who his relation is and what
and you can, like I
house
said,
he belongs to.
yeah, and you can easily, like I said, you can easily kind of not figure it out because there's nothing that says, hey, this is it, but you can easily see that. He's like, all right, I bet you he's so and so, just because. Yeah, exactly. Just because they haven't thoroughly said this or that or confirmed it that it's his, And Stark is, you look at that guy and he is all about his morals and everything like that. So you can never see him do anything like that. Have a mistress on the side, especially for everything that he stands for. So he lived with that life for his sister, but that's all because of a promise he made for her.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty intense. My biggest question too is about Bran is when I don't know if it was season 4 or 5 when the guy Bran asked the guy, "Am I gonna walk again?" He's like, "No, you're gonna fly." So with that being said, is he gonna be flying from the three-eyed raven because now he's the three-eyed raven, or is he gonna control the dragon?
ooh, that's a good question. I honestly think it's because the three-eyed raven. I honestly see that. However, I do see Jon Snow controlling the dragons.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
It's in his bloodline.
It's in his
I
bloodline.
think what's gonna happen is he's not gonna know until maybe he catches
Oh,
on fire, and he's just gonna be like,
Of course, and that's I'm not saying he's like, oh, I know kung fu kind of thing, you know, like he's just gonna like, oh, I know I can control. Yeah, I think some crazy thing is gonna go down.
do you think Tyrion's part of that bloodline? That's one of the rumors too.
I haven't heard that one.
I've heard it, but nah, I don't think so.
Because he was able to release the dragons.
Right.
So with that being said, why didn't they attack him?
And remember we talked about that too. Was it with you or was it just us, me and Velasco? We're all talking loud. No, he's legitimately just a midget. I don't think. I think his father would have. I think if he had any other blood besides the Lannisters, I think his father would have killed him. Just being who he is. His dad is all about the name.
Of course.
So if you had any kind of outside anything else, like nope, done. That's why he accepts the Cersei's children. He's like, hey, that's all our blood, you know, bro and sister love, you know.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think so. But it was fascinating to see that though. I was like, there has to be some meaning behind it, but I don't think it's that though. I honestly don't think it's that.
Well, he also stated that they're pretty intelligent, and he wasn't there to hurt them.
No.
Of course. So, I mean, of course, you would think that, hey, he is part or he's not. But no matter what, we'll see what happens.
This is funny. This is my theory for the next 2 seasons. The North gets in a fight with the Lannisters, and then the Dragon Queen comes out. So it's gonna be a 3-way battle, and between them battling, that's when the White King comes in. And they're like, oh, we got to put everything aside and combine to I honestly think that's how it's going to come. I mean, there's going to be more stories to it, but I think that's my idea of what's going to go down.
Okay. Who do you think is going to be? Do you predict any deaths? Who's going to die?
Everybody.
Honestly, yeah. I pretty much, just because of the way it is, maybe the only people that survive, Sansa and Jon.
So you don't see Bran? You don't see Arya because she can change shapes. How about the uncle that can't die yet?
Well, he's technically deadish.
Yeah.
But I honestly see Arya doing like some selfless thing, like taking someone down with her kind of deal, because she's such a badass right now.
The Hound being alive. How about him? Do you think
him and his brother died together, battling it out somehow?
Okay. You don't see Jon Snow taking out the mountain?
No, I honestly see the Hound and his, the brothers going at it.
Okay.
I mean that's what it's always been about since the beginning.
Since the beginning,
it's all been about them hating each other, because the Mountain just honestly had no empathy, and he just scarred his brother because he was playing with his toy.
Yeah.
No big deal for him.
Fire. Do you think it's going to be payback with fire as well?
I don't know. He's still in fear of fire, though.
He is. He really is. But I mean, since the brother did it to him, since the Mountain did it to the Hound,
could be some. And those are some subtle things. But I honestly don't. The just picture I think is they will battle it out to the death. They both die. I mean, one is already dead, but you know what I mean.
One is already dead. I mean.
And then honestly, I think Snow and Sansa were the only ones we left.
That's Cersei. Do you think with her, would you rather have her die or just be that person on the street that's a beggar now? Just this is what you had and you gave it all away.
That would be great, like a just fitting.
Yeah.
Become everything that she's always wanted not to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, God, it really messed her up when she had to do the whole shame walk, walk of shame.
And at a point in time, I'm pretty sure you feel bad for her.
Nope, not once. Nope, not once did I feel bad for her. I'm like, yep, continue this, please.
Okay. So you don't even think the Dragon Queen is going to even survive?
No, I don't think she's going to survive, no.
Okay.
Because although she's very powerful, she's still kind of naive to a lot of things.
She did have advisors, but, I mean, with Tyrion by her side?
I mean, that's all she is, though. She's all about her advisors. I mean, she's gotten to the point where she has. I mean, initially just a lot of luck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But a lot of the choices have been through her advisors and stuff like that,
Now, at the same time when you're saying all this, she, at this last season, last couple episodes, she's at that point where she doesn't care. She's like, I'm going to take this because I'm that great of a person. I'm gonna just, I'm coming for your surrender.
Which is cool because that's ballsy on her.
Yeah,
But in the end, you still gotta back it up.
you do.
You know what
But
I
she
mean?
does have 3 dragons.
Yeah, she does. And we still have Jon Snow.
We still have Jon Snow. But
So-
do you think, according to some people, there was an ice dragon in the middle of the wall? Do you think that's gonna play a part?
Okay. For that to happen though, then the cousin had to have the horn when he came in. Remember, he didn't have the horn
That we noticed.
that we noticed, but that was a big key thing. So remember, I don't think there's gonna be a dragon in the wall.
Okay. Be pretty neat for.
It would,
Or
be,
dragon.
but God, dude, it'll be so. I mean, to introduce it out of nowhere is gonna be like, especially how you're saying 13 episodes.
13 episodes.
There had to be something early in the beginning, stories of a X dragon, this and that. You know what I mean? Something to help out. You know what I mean? Something to feed into this. Like, oh, remember when they said that there's a child story of kids talking about this? Something, but nothing never led up to it. So
I mean, they can easily have the White Walkers walk towards the wall and then pan towards it and have a shot of like a silhouette of a dragon in there. I mean, they can introduce it, but as far as we know,
I think they've already moved away from. Honestly, that's why I think like part of it. Like, I don't think it's gonna be in there because they don't show the horn. And I think that he would have showed some just glimpse because you don't have to do anything with the horns. Just a glimpse of the horn being in his belt, and you're like, oh, I know what that is, kind of deal. You know what I mean?
I wasn't really paying attention. I was really shocked that the uncle came back.
Oh, I just have everything because it's a Cody, so I can like rewind and watch it again. But yeah, there was no horn, so I honestly don't think they're gonna show the white.
Well,
The theory of the white dragon
okay.
or the ice dragon.
Makes sense. Catch up, buddy.
Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
Andrew's just watching us nerd out on this.
I'm still on season 4.
Oh man.
But either way, I think she's still a rookie to all this, man. I mean, doesn't really know anything of what's out there. It's all on a whim. I mean, what's her fight experience? None. She's had everything with her. It's kind of like God, what's his name? The bastard. The Battle of the Bastards. Snow and
Ramsey?
Ramsey. Brilliant guy, but he has no. In the end, kid didn't know how to do anything.
Well, I mean, if your whole point was to take out Jon Snow, would you use when Jon's back was turned? Would you take it to take out the giant, or would you use it to take out Jon Snow? So he shot the giant in the eye.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that was his opportunity. So he's not a brilliant man at all. I think it's that pride thing of like I'm lord of this little area. So I'm glad he's dead. I wish it would have been a lot more horrific. But
Well, the last part was pretty good with him screaming the way he did. I was like, all right. Sansa with that little smile, little crack in that smile.
you know what I want them to talk about more is the Valyrian steel. Why is that so important? Why is that there to kill? Like, there's not many swords out there. We know about 4 right now. And that was the one that Sam has, the one that Jaime has, because they took out Ned Stark's.
It made it into 2.
So they took out Ned Stark's, melted it. They made one for Joffrey.
Which I don't know what happened to that one. Probably buried with him.
That we know of. The one that...
Needle.
Needle. And then the one that girl has. The one that Jaime gave to that big girl of... the one that was protecting Sansa.
Yeah, she still has it. Oh,
She
but
still
that's the one that his dad gave him though, because his dad melted Ned's sword, made 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. Which was Joffrey's, and then the one for Jaime's.
Yeah.
Jaime gave his away. Joffrey has her needle, and then Jon.
Oh, and Jon
Snow's. And Sam's.
Because he stole that from his dad.
Yeah. So there's still, but what is so important about it?
Because it was probably forged out of dragon's breath metal. So the dragon, because what did they say? The dragon rock was able to kill.
Yeah. So it was dragon glass.
Glass. So it's polyglass that was melted due to dragon's breath fire. So it's what I think the common denominator in this is dragon's fire kind of thing. Because the only way to make glass is through fire. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing a dragon, fire somehow, in sand make the glass. So it has those magic abilities to kill that.
So, I mean, they really haven't touched much on Sam. Now he's at this big headquarters of this big giant library. Is he gonna find what he needs to?
So I don't know what they're gonna go. Like he's gonna have to do research on something. I don't know what though. What was it?
On the White Walkers.
On
That's
White
all
Walkers?
he wanted to do research on the White Walkers. That's it. Now, if he's gonna do it on how to kill them, how they can.
Well, they know how to kill him. They know it. So it's the Valyrian steel and the glass.
Dragon glass. But can dragons just melt them away?
Probably because it has the dragon flyer, which is a magic thing.
Do you think they're gonna make it a King's Landing, and at that same time, everyone's gonna start fighting with each other, and then the White Walkers are gonna come, and then everyone's gonna have to battle?
Yes, that's my theory. It's gonna be 3-way battle royale,
Okay.
and then they're all gonna have to join forces to battle the White Walkers.
Is anyone do you think is gonna stay neutral? They're gonna be like, no, that's your fight. I'm gonna stay over here.
Nobody can, because I mean the White Walkers is everybody's enemy.
They've known for a while about winter is coming. That's always there.
Well, some people don't believe it. Remember that every time he's trying to convince people, it was like, nah, what are you talking about? Remember, he's always trying to convince people. It's like, I've seen it. He's like, sure, it's just a tale. Because maybe back hundreds of years ago they knew about it because, you know, back then sorcery and them were all pretty combined, but it's lost through translation, you know.
You're right. And at the same time, how are the White Walkers? They made deals with remember that one person that had all his daughters that he gave always the boys to the White Walkers.
Was that giving it to the White Walkers?
Yeah, they gave it to the White Walkers. That was the point.
I didn't know he was giving it to White Walkers.
Yeah.
I thought it was something else.
That's how in the episode you see a White Walker come taking the boy, and then coming and turning into a White Walker.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So, how do we know deals can't be made? People, I mean, like, I want to know if they can even speak. Can the king even speak?
You know what? I don't know what the deal was with that. That's something else. That's something, man, we have to figure out.
Definitely.
Do you read the books?
I have not.
You have
I
not?
haven't had a chance to.
Do you actually like, do research on like the back history? Like you watch an episode and like kind of find things out,
No, because
or is this all just from like watching it that you're
watching it, getting a bunch of different people's opinion and stuff like that? The books are not 100% coincide with the
show? Yeah, at a
show,
certain
so
point
it's
it
kind of
split
like
off.
the comic book universe and the like the Marvel universe for the cinematic. They're two different. So I mean, like it's kind of like that, but at the same time, there's nitpicks. But there's a lot of people that are all they do is talk about it, and I listen to them and
Okay.
and research. They do their own research. They do everything possible to try to prove you wrong. So I'd like to listen to them.
For what?
Do you do any research on like the Game of Thrones stuff, or you just
Yeah,
like all from the watching the episode?
A good YouTube channel is called Alt Shift X. I don't know if you remember I told you.
Yeah, you told me about
Did
that.
you ever look
I
it
never
up?
looked at that one yet. Not yet.
Look it up actually on your computer right now. But Alt Shift X, they do really good breakdown of all the episodes, and they pretty much just talk about it and see and guess where the future episodes will go. Yeah, that. And it's pretty cool because they use the book a lot and like, oh, this and that from the book. The book differs from this and that. And that's how I found out about the horn and the possible ice dragon. He's like, well, there's no ever a horn, so maybe there's no dragon ever. Da, da, da.
At the same time, do you still believe, still believe in time travel, since we had this big argument, because
Yes.
at the same time, Brandon didn't say anything to Ned, and he still looked back the same way.
Because he had what he did originally.
I don't know, man. That's kind of hard to think.
I do believe in time travel.
Not in the show.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's just viewing. I don't think it has anything to do with time travel.
No, for sure 100% time travel.
It's hard to believe, but it's okay. We'll find out.
I don't know.
We'll find
A
out.
lot of people, a lot of their opinions have said the same thing, time travel. You're like one only person I've heard it say no,
at
it
the
isn't.
same time, I'm not talking about. He's not altering the past, because Hodor was always Hodor because of the fact that what happened. So he did that. So the events that led up didn't. It wasn't because of time travel. It was because of that was happening. It was showing them the past.
Like 100% are due to time travel though.
But you're saying he can alter the past. The past is already set in stone.
He didn't alter it. He influenced the past that turns into the future.
How do we know that wasn't already there to set in stone? If he didn't do that, would Hodor still be Hodor?
No.
Of course. So it's
How?
already things that are happening. He's not altering the past. These things are already set in stone.
So then, why did Hodor become Hodor? Why? What's your theory, and why did Hodor became Hodor if there is no time travel? Like, explain this.
I'm saying not about time travel. I'm saying more along the lines of altering the past.
But I'm saying, how did Hodor become Hodor if there's
Because-
no time traveling? How did he say end up becoming memorizing the word hold the door in his head if there's no time travel? Just explain that.
No,
and I'll shut my
I'm
face.
saying alter the past. He's in the future already. They're talking about, for them, their present time. So that thing already happened in the past. So him going back is making those events happen. So he's not altering the past. It's making it.
He has
happen.
to alter the past to make the present happen.
No,
It's
dude.
part of it.
No.
You ever see Back to the Future? That's what it is.
Time travel. It's the worst thing to explain.
It is.
But anyways, time travel exists. And yeah, so that's a good rant on Game of Thrones. But either way, can't wait for the next season, which is what, in a year now?
Yeah. A year. Most likely April. So that's when they always start.
That's the worst part. You're just waiting.
that
Just-
waiting game.
God.
And then the little teasers they show. Just like, you're not helping anything.
No.
It's like actually makes me want to go back to season 1 and restart and just kind of binge and like pick up all the stuff that you guys are talking about. Because I don't. Cause
Do
like,
that and watch after every episode you watch. Go to Alt Shift X, and watch the current season with the current episode, and it helps you like
Lot of
understand more. Like, oh, all right. But anyways, leaving from TV, since both of you guys are going to school, he's just cutting down. So since your upbringing of the Gauntlet, have you become more of a comic nerd, a gamer nerd, movie nerd, TV nerd? Which because there's different types of nerd. I think I encompass almost everything.
I strayed away from comics, but I
Mhm.
love to when I have time to read them.
Mm.
But I love video games. I've always been. Remember playing with Carlos back in the day and making sure that he won because of me, but it's okay.
He seems very angry still.
I'm not angry.
What's your partner's name?
Pierce?
Pierce. And it seems like you're always screaming at me, but and he says remember he keeps saying I'll get so angry at him.
this is almost a daily occurrence at work when we see each other.
It's so great. It's like that's our how do you do?
Mike and Los just going at each other with video game talk.
Yeah, so pretty much Mike gets upset that I snipe him
don't.
all the time.
You know what?
He calls me a camper, but I am sniping.
know what you're coming
I don't
from
know
right
what a
now.
sniper's supposed to do. Run around, shoot people,
It's a legitimate technique.
No,
in my book.
or
no.
be a sniper, settle down,
He's
use your ghillie suit, blend in with the surrounding agriculture.
all these
Put,
lies.
I'll put
you
a little
do?
little leaf on my head, a little brush here, a little twig here, so he doesn't see me. Just relax, just wait for the right moment. Mike's out there doing his killing, but then I take a deep breath. See, just thinking, what is he thinking right now? As I take his life, boom, boom, sniped. And he's like, oh, where did that come from? Upset. And he gets to see the kill cam of me just chilling, watching him running around, and finally decided to take his life.
You know the funny thing is we're on the same team. So if he killed me, that most likely is hardcore team deathmatch, and he's killing his own team. So you do your thing then, okay?
I would
Because-
purposely switch teams.
But you wouldn't.
Would you
I
really?
would,
You would kill a person like Chops or
I would purposely switch.
No.
as a sniper.
Well, then I see Mike's argument.
no. You
But this is the
try
thing.
again.
This is the
That
thing,
didn't
though.
help.
This is the thing. When we all get together and we play, it'd be too easy. Honestly, it'd
It
be
would.
too easy. We just start dominating people, and I like challenges. So I would switch over. I'm like, all right, and start picking them off. I'm like, oh, is that Sandy? Switching to the side, dead.
I don't know if someone
That's
can shoot
fine.
themselves, but I'm sure Carlos could because that's how ignorant he is. But anyways, he didn't kill me,
So
brother.
upset. He's so
He never
upset.
killed me. Jesus.
Barking so loud. But anyways, yeah. So I snipe him all the time. So
That's
he's still
the
hold grudges
negatory.
on that.
Negatory Ghost Rider.
So what other games are you into? You remember we talked about
we
like
ta-
BioShock and Ghostbusters last week, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Ghostbusters was so underrated. We talked about that.
Yeah, that's one game that kind of pops up here and there on an episode where I just cannot recommend it enough and it's so underrated, and it's just a great game. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, it's amazing. and it's a fun game to play too. Like the game mechanics and like the story and the trapping ability and all the ghosts and Ghostbusters lore and history that's actually in the game.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I mean,
I've heard it quite often, and even you said it's considered more of a Ghostbusters 3 than anything else, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. It was voiced, all the characters voiced by like the original actors.
everyone signed on. Everybody signed on to be part of that, and that's, great on itself. But if anything, they should remake that game and then make it co-op, make it a little bit more challenging.
That'd be
Add DLC to it. I mean, that game was so great, and now, with this new Ghostbusters, we'll see what happens. And,
Now, since we're on that topic, what do you think? What do you think about this new Ghostbusters?
They said Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd is going to make cameos in it. Now, is it just going to be them handing off the torch, or a whole new set of, hey, we're Ghostbusters now, this is what we're doing? It's kind of hard because I grew up with the original, so like the original I always like better. So like if I have to play a video game and I'm going to play the original, I'm going to play like NES Super Mario World. Like that's how my thought process on it.
So you're not gonna hate on it because it's different,
Why would
or are you
I?
gonna give it a try?
I have to give it a try. We
Okay.
got to give everything a try.
Yeah,
And the reason we say that is because, geez, I don't know if you're aware, when the first not even the first trailer, when they were announcing girls, people were like, I don't know what they're gonna do. They hate Cordon. And the first trailer, which just a trailer, which was a horribly done
It
cut,
was a bad trailer.
but it's still just showing you things about a movie, not a complete movie. And people just lost their fucking mind, dude. They hate was on full throttle, man.
Well, yeah, we talked about how the Ghostbusters reboot trailer and the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare trailer are the most disliked trailers on the internet. But to answer your question, as far as the cameos of the original Ghostbusters, there's no specific word on if they're going to hand over the torch, but I don't think so because the director, Paul Feig, had mentioned this is more of a reboot retelling of just a Ghostbusters. He wants the experience of these four characters for this to be a new world to them, like create the weapons and have the first time experiences with the paranormal kind of stuff. Okay. So it doesn't seem like there has been a Ghostbusters before kind of thing, based off of what the director said. But I don't know if you follow the stuff too, but Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray have both kind of signed off saying it's a good movie, it's fun, it's funny, and like the girls do a great job, but it's unknown if they're saying that, for the marketing purposes or if they really mean it, which I hope they really mean it.
I hope they mean it too.
I don't think they would just put their name behind it, like sell out that way.
Well, that's what every celebrity does when they're pushing their movie, like the junkets, they're saying, oh, it's a fun movie, go watch it, but they're never going to say, oh, we kind of,
But it's not their movie, though, really, so you know what I mean?
It's, even at the same time, I don't think they would badmouth it.
Of course you
at
wouldn't
all,
badmouth it, but if you'd have nothing to say, you really wouldn't say anything, right?
It's
Right? You'd be like, oh.
like you always say, it's all about the money in the industry, and they're pushing the movie, and they have some stake in it,
Well, the cast they
selling the
got
property.
for is there anybody nowadays that even for males, like the female cast they got for it, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
So as far as guys, is there any guys nowadays that can fill that role and still make us feel how we felt back in the 80s?
Let's see. I think Danny Glover would be a pretty good one.
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you mean filling the African American role in the
No,
group?
I was thinking about two black people having a role there, like Kevin Hart would be great. God, judging me already.
I think Kevin Hart's kind of.
Yeah, I don't think he would fit that role
No, I think
at all.
Why not?
Why?
Yeah.
Because he's a little bit out of the box on his humor.
That's what I'm saying.
So I mean, the other one was the tough guy.
Sure, but you don't want to if you want mirror image.
I don't want mirrored image. I want a new.
Exactly. So why not have some Kevin Hart?
Why?
He's new. You don't want to if you want to stick with the same representation, watch the old one.
He's new, but at the same time, he's a little oversaturated.
Mhm.
There's been too many Kevin Hart movies, and they're not really the best. He's a funny guy. He's an amazing stand-up comic, but as far as his movies go, I don't even know.
Have you watched them though?
That's the thing. He hasn't attracted me, and like as far as the box office numbers go, he doesn't pull in.
Like this last one, the one he has with Rock, that one's hilarious.
That one I want to see mostly because of The Rock.
Really?
Yeah, I mean the trailers look funny. Kevin Hart's funny in it, but I mostly want to see it because of The Rock.
I'm a big Kevin Hart fan, so I'm not gonna. I love his movies.
I'm a huge Will Ferrell fan. I never saw that one with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell.
I did. That was okay. It was just okay.
The Ride Along movies I never really watched. What else has he been?
Ride Along. That's
Ride Along 1
or-
and 2, and then there was the.
Was it Ride Along? Is that the
no.
where he was
Ride
with Ice
Along's-
Cube?
No. Oh, yeah, that is. That was actually pretty good. Those were pretty funny. I watched all those.
Okay.
What's the one where Kevin Hart was in it as the guy that plans the best man?
Oh, wedding something.
Yeah.
Where he's like a hired
That's not the wedding planner, but it's like
wedding ringer.
yeah, that's what it was. I mean, that was.
Oh, that's the one with the Tyrion comes out.
Mhm.
Yeah, that one was hilarious, dude. You know that one was a great
That one was good.
That one was hilarious.
But I mean, he was playing more of a serious role. But I can't still see him being a Ghostbuster.
Yeah, same here.
I can't. I mean, if you put on that pack, he's gonna fall over.
Look, and that, I mean, look, he already laughed. See, he's like one of those people that does a lot of what is it? Physical humor. Like his humor is with the expressions of his body, and I would love that. That would be amazing.
Who do you see as like a casting?
You know that.
I'm bad at these fan casting things.
As the smart guy, the guy that's I'm really bad with names. So the guy from Frozen, he was also in Pixels, and he was also in
Oh, the guy
Josh-
that does the voice?
Josh
Yeah.
Gad.
So I think he would be a perfect as the professor one, the smart one,
The Egon one.
Egon. Yeah. So, because
I think he's too slapsticky also. He's
it
too
depends.
He's kind of Jack Blacky over the top.
You don't like over the top? I like over the top.
But not for Egon though. For the character of
But
Egon.
this is the thing. Remember, we're striving away from the original. You
Yeah.
can't use the original as this is your blueprint. You only have a name, and he's a genius, and that's it. You mold it to wherever it is. Because remember, if you want it just like the other one, stick with the original.
I will do that.
You don't be like, oh, Christian Bale was not Adam West.
That's
No,
true.
Ben Affleck wasn't Christian Bale. Nah, so they all add their own into it. It's like, oh, so that's why people have. Well, this is my Ghostbusters. This is sounds you have your Batman because you're more on 100% with Ben Affleck. He's your Batman.
Keaton. Well, I mean original Keaton.
Oh, it's
but
okay.
I love what Ben Affleck is
Oh, okay.
doing.
So for me, it's Christian Bale. Not saying that I don't like everybody else's work. Christian Bale is my Batman. Like he was just legit for me. So I think that's the same thing.
What about him that set that bar so much higher than anyone else?
Christian Bale, honestly, I like the way he gets involved in the role where he physically gets sees in himself. Gets built. He wants to do his own stunts, kind of like Tom Cruise. Although he has a stunt double and everything like that, the way he immerses himself in it, and the way that he portrayed Batman in my eyes is phenomenal.
Just one quick question: what bat suit is your favorite?
Does it have to be movies or comic books or?
It can be.
Yeah, because I asked the same question. He asked me this last week, and I said, "There's been bat suits since 1938."
It's like saying the favorite Iron Man suit,
Okay.
like that. But I mean,
Okay.
what is your favorite?
I'll do two. For the movies, my favorite bat suit would have to do Batman with Michael Keaton.
I love that one too.
Because, and it's nothing to do with being productivity or God, what's that word? Easy to move around or anything like that. It's just because you're like, oh, they can pull this off on the screen.
Yeah, it's the first time we saw The Dark Knight.
Right. And it's like, wow. You just see the chest plate and everything. You just seen it. I was like, and that impact will always be with me.
Okay.
But as far as overall, the best, I think, Batman suit and the way it looks and how everything is done is the Batman suit for Injustice God Among Us. It's essentially, it's half a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that the cowl goes, it goes from their chin up to their ear, and this part takes off. So when he takes it off, it looks legit because it covers the ears and he goes down to his chin. So it looks pretty dope. It looks pretty dope when he takes his part of the helmet off. So I've always liked that suit, and I want a replica.
That reminds me very RoboCop-ish. That thing around the chin, around the cheeks, and
Essentially, yeah.
Dome comes off.
And it's just and it's Bruce Wayne, so it looks so badass seeing him with that. It's like if he was fighting crime in that just without the top, he's still like it looks that badass.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
See if you can pull it up so you can see.
What about yours, Mike?
You know, the latest Batman game, Arkham Knight. I like that suit a lot. It was really good, but you know, I can't, since I'm old school. Michael Keaton's suit will stick with me because I always loved, to me personally, that the signal, the insignia, their signal, everything that was my favorite. Even to the like, Batwing, like it was just one of those. So I mean, the car. When I think of the like Batmobile, I think of Michael Keaton's Batmobile. So it's like
Yeah, you've asked me that question about the bat, which bat logo is like my favorite. It's like I have like 4 that are just like my top. Like I really love.
Oh,
the new
logo
one.
now?
Just like
We're doing logo?
Logo, yeah. Like he mentioned that out of the bat suit. Like he's asked me that. Just the logo. Which one's like your favorite?
For me, my favorite logo would be the Batman Beyond. Believe it or not.
really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Just the red logo. Terry McGinnis.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just because you always see it black, yellow, black, black. And then you just see it in red and just so simplistic. I was like, oh man, that's so legit.
No comment.
Oh, see that?
You put the image of Injustice without the helmet.
Doesn't it look legit? Like it just looks dope.
Okay.
Very RoboCop, like you said.
Yeah, that just RoboCop.
And he just puts it on. I was like, ah,
Yes.
I gotta ask you a quick question.
What's
too.
that?
If you, I have asked Andrew this, and we all know the answer to Andrew, but if you had to pick a superhero
Magneto?
to be, you would be Magneto.
Mhm.
Why is that?
We just had that.
Yeah, we just had this
Because it's just, I think it'd be badass just to manipulate pretty much all your surroundings. How powerful it is. I mean, there's metal everywhere, and just
Yeah.
you can make yourself float. And the way you can just use magnetism to your advantage is so, like, I think this is one of the coolest powers you can ever have. You know, fry someone's cell phone, crush it all in your hands, and it's just legit. I mean, you just impose your will. You go to the city, you're a god. You're legitly flying everywhere. I mean,
That don't worry.
go to the
that
desert.
won't stand out.
Go to the desert, and you're like, ah, damn.
Well, I mean,
Let me bring some bolts.
he wouldn't stand out with that outfit either.
Yeah,
The
right.
maroon and then the helmet.
And the helmet.
I think it's one of the coolest suits ever, man. That helmet, and it really, I mean, look at other people. It hasn't really changed.
No, just
No.
the color of the suit usually.
Pretty much, yeah.
So yeah,
What was your answer?
mine was the Flash.
Flash.
Because I would, if that was the case and you were causing destruction, I'd go back in time and just kill you when you're born.
But see, then you change stuff, and next thing you know, you're not the Flash.
Yeah, right.
Then Flashpoint happens,
Flashpoint
and we realize
again.
that it became worse, right?
Yep.
Have you learned anything from Flash time traveling? Is he just makes things worse.
And he does that every season on the show too.
Yeah. So
Really?
yeah, you catch up.
Oh, I gotta catch it.
We do.
Well, you're halfway through season 2, right?
Yeah.
So he's already tried to travel in the first season.
Yeah.
And
I'm at King Shark.
Okay, so he hasn't introduced from the timeline. No one in the paradox actually comes to him yet.
what are you asking?
For the Flash,
On the
has he
show?
guys? Yeah, for the show, has he?
Oh, that world where the
not a
Zoom
world.
came out?
No, this is a totally different.
No.
Okay. That one's pretty neat. It's a good episode.
The season finale?
No, that's maybe 4 episodes prior to it, because if you want to earmuffs it right now for spoilers, he loses his powers and then he has to get them back.
Okay.
So, with that being said, like he goes and they
Oh,
try
yeah.
to recreate it almost like the Flashpoint paradox in the actual cartoon movie, and he gets his powers back, but he's not there. He goes into the timeline paradox, and he has to.
Oh, you mean he's in the Speed Force?
I'm sorry, he's in the Speed
okay,
Force.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
The cartoon movie?
No, he's in the show.
In the show, it actually shows him in the Speed Force, like getting his powers back. Yeah. So, but this whole Flashpoint thing is gonna be starting this season because of what happened in the season finale. And I told you this already, so you kind of know.
But anyway, that was honestly a season finale. That was pretty stupid.
For
Flash.
I don't think he's thinking. At this point, he just wants to see his mom again.
But he gave himself enough. Then he sees himself like, bro, I am you. You are me. No. You know, it's like, oh my god. But anyways, let's get to a lot of news because we got a bunch of news to go through.
Okay.
What do you got for movies?
Movies. This last week, Spider-Man set pictures. Did you get any of you guys see any of that?
No,
What is
not.
it? Just production crew? That's it?
No, it's actually Tom Holland in the Spider-Man outfit.
Oh, bring that up. I want to see that.
Yeah, so there's a lot. Just looks like on the same set. He's just in his costume. He's got the backpack on. He's got the little wrist, mechanical wrist bits.
Ooh. So a lot of filming starting then, because we have brought it up with
Yeah,
Thor.
'cause it's a huge cast.
Thor's coming up on filming in Australia.
Okay.
So this is going to be going. God, Marvel's gonna be pretty. Well, Sony Marvel. Pretty busy.
So who's making Homecoming? Is it
Sony.
Sony?
It's Sony's with Marvel's helping hand.
Okay, so they're not gonna have the old Amazing Spider-Man. Are they done with Amazing Spider-Man?
Yes, that
Yeah,
talent's
it's
it.
done long ago.
I liked it too. That's what I told
It
them.
was good.
I
The
told them
actor
I was
was
into it.
good.
I told them I was into that. I loved it.
They introduced like all the people that were gonna be like the Sinister Six.
Bro, I know. You're telling, bro. I know. I've been through this a couple podcasts ago.
Oh man,
That's why you
a
should
bummer.
listen. You should listen.
It was
I told him to give me the.
It was a critical bomb, I guess, as well as not well received with.
But it made
Yeah,
more
fans.
than its money. So that's what I don't understand. It made
That's the
its
thing
money.
nowadays. These movies make billions of dollars, but they're still considered bombs because
Critical bomb, but it was a
They're-
box office success.
fans don't like it so much.
I thought it was great.
But yeah, they had the whole plan for the Sinister Six, it was gonna be a trilogy, that Amazing Spider-Man movie, and they were gonna branch off from there, like Venom and stuff like that. But just somehow, because this movie didn't do that well, it kind of just fell
The
apart.
graphics were amazing nowadays. I mean,
I like, bro.
everything about
Don't
it was great.
don't sell me on it because I'm on the same board. Don't try to sell me on it because I'm on the same board. Oh god. Oh, that's right. Ready Player One is already filming.
That I'm like super excited about.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it.
It's a book.
It's a novel that
It's
came
a
out
book.
2011, and even then it was like optioned for a movie.
He's like, I read it in a book.
And it's one of the few books I've read in the last 5 years that I started like really getting into reading. But the book's amazing. Probably my favorite one that I've read
Okay.
that in the last 5 years. It's set in a future dystopian world where like virtual reality is like the big thing. Like all like Earth's resources are kind of depleted. People are living in slums, like mobile homes stacked upon each other, like 10, 20 high. And these are like the communities people live in nowadays. But everybody has this virtual reality world that they plug into,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a multi-purpose kind of thing where you can go to school in this virtual reality. You can
Matrix?
work and stuff. Yeah, Matrixy. Yeah, on the book it's basically described as Willy Wonka meets the Matrix. So, in this virtual reality world, it's a lot of it is based on the creator's love of the '80s. So he has a lot of like stuff based on movies and video games and stuff of the '80s that he grew up in, just like obsessed with.
Mm-hmm.
So upon the creator's death, he kind of sets out his last will and testament, and he states, in this virtual reality world, I planted Easter eggs, and there's these 5, I think it was 5, so like 5 Easter eggs that you have to collect.
Mhm.
The person who collects all 5 and solves like the puzzle of this world that I created,
Get my riches.
inherits the oasis, this world, and inherits my riches. So it becomes this worldwide kind of chase and
Egg
game.
hunt, yeah.
And this the main character that we follow is just he's also obsessed with this
Sounds like
world and creator, and it's just I love the characters. I can relate very much to the main character. I love the way the writer uses the 80s.
Right,
And
right.
incorporates it into this world of like games and puzzles and stuff.
Cliff Martinez should
You're a
Score
real
that.
big Cliff Martinez kick right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
But I can't recommend this enough. If you want to read the book, I'll let you borrow the book. But
maybe after.
the book. Oh yeah, I'm just busy with school right now.
Yeah.
But the movie started filming. It's got. I mean, Steven Spielberg's on board to direct.
Oh,
I'll borrow
wow.
the book since I'm not in school.
One of the things I'm a little bummed about this because there's so many different properties within the book. Like there's a lot of references to Steven Spielberg and stuff like that.
Really?
So, as far as the movie goes, the adaptation, they're gonna cut out a few, maybe a lot more than a few of Steven Spielberg references into his movies, like the E.T.s and Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Because it's
stuff
property
like
they don't own.
No, they. I mean, Steven Spielberg's directing it, so it's he can let them have it, but he just doesn't want to kind of.
It'd be all about him, right?
Yeah, he doesn't want to kind of like it's like very, I guess, egocentric
So
or
they're gonna
like
use
both
they're
his kind of
gonna
stuff.
use Scorsese.
So I wonder what they're gonna
Right.
incorporate instead of that.
Incorporate a
kind of
different director, maybe like
stuff.
a
Yeah,
fictional
maybe,
character.
Maybe yeah, like I don't know who's a big '80s guy, but yeah, Ready Player One. It's got who was Ty Sheridan, who was Cyclops in the X-Men Apocalypse. He's gonna be the lead character. I forget her name, Olivia something or other. Do you guys watch Bates Motel?
No.
No.
No, one of the girls in that show. She's gonna be the lead like female role in that. Simon Pegg's in it.
Big fan of him.
What is he not in?
He's great.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's the thing is, not only does he act, he's a phenomenal writer. So that's what people.
Yeah.
Love. Well, that's cool, man. I can't wait for that. And then
Yeah.
we forgot to bring this one up, but this was actually last week's news. Darth Vader. He's gonna be actually voicing.
Oh,
Or
James Earl
Jay-
Jones is back to voice Darth Vader.
Well, he hasn't stopped yet. So have you guys been watching Rebels?
No, I haven't.
If you guys have a chance, watch Rebels. The season finale of season 2, because it was finished, was by far will bring you back to a child. It was one of those when you're watching Star Wars from the 80s. Really great episode. Darth Vader is in it, and is still cast. He's still doing the voice right now.
This is Rebels, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Because I know a couple of guys who are actually get paid to do Darth Vader's voices, like in cartoons and video
It's
games.
in the credits.
Oh, really?
Still says
Wow.
I am.
Or is it getting credit like, oh, you know?
I'm pretty sure it's him,
Yeah.
but I mean, like,
It would have to be him.
there was only one way to find out and
I am
watch it again.
It would have to be him because they wouldn't just give credit for
No.
somebody's voice being in the if it's not in there.
So now that I mentioned earlier, right, Cliff Martinez will be scoring Wolverine 3. I like his stuff. He did Driver, the soundtrack to it.
Okay.
He did Neon Demon.
Not so much completely him. 'Cause there was musical artists. That
Yeah, there were,
provided
but
songs
he
to it.
scored it.
But the
The
score
intro, a lot of the major drive scenes.
Okay.
It's all his music. He also did Gods Among Us? Yeah. And some other movies, but I like his work, man. We were hearing it just before you came.
Far Cry 4,
Yep.
Only God Forgives, Neon Demon, a lot of the Nicholas Winding Refn movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're BFFs, you know.
Are they?
Is it like Tim Burton with
Yeah, with,
Johnny Depp.
no
with
Uh,
Danny Elfman,
Danny Elfman?
Mm-hmm.
the whole partnership.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Do they have any kind of script or anything that they're gonna base it upon?
Old Man
Or-
Logan. That's
That's what they're doing,
That's
huh?
what we keep getting is Old Man Logan. Yeah.
That'd be neat to see.
It would be amazing. So
Yeah,
that's
it's just to
cool.
see the adaptation. Well,
Mhm.
they're having instead of like Hawkeye being the sidekick, like was in the comic, what's his face? Xavier.
Okay.
Charles is gonna be like the sidekick on the road trip.
We have Anna Kendrick wants to be Squirrel Girl, huh?
You're a huge Marvel. Do
Yeah.
you know what's the deal with Squirrel Girl?
She is like one of the young Avengers and stuff like that. That's what she is. She looks like a squirrel.
She
She's
has
like
a big
this
tail.
evil-
Yeah.
I've seen the
Yeah.
images, yeah.
Yeah, there's a big like fanboy base on that, man. Like, there's a good following. Like, oh yeah, all about Squirrel Girl.
They're like bronies for Squirrel Girl.
Kinda, but I mean, she's a character, but she's not a big enough character, you know. She's like a side story character kind of deal. You know, she'll be
Okay.
here and there. She babysat a lot for the Avengers for Luke Cage's kid with Jessica Jones.
She did beat Deadpool though.
Recently.
Not recently. In the past. Well, she scratched him to a point where like he's bleeding, but the body wasn't registered to heal. So she kept on doing that, and he bled out and passed out. So she beat him, and she was or she keeps on insinuating that she had like a love connection to Wolverine too. So
No, I don't know. Because she's super young. So I don't know what Wolverine's rocking the crate on that one. But either way, she honestly, she's a B character, B-C character.
I mean, because it just came out last couple days that Anna Kendrick kind of just threw it out there that she'd love to be in the Marvel movie, and just Squirrel Girl was would be her choice. I mean, I see her like as far as the images that I've seen because I don't know the character and her characteristics. But yeah, Anna Kendrick that'd be cool seeing her in that squirrel outfit.
God, that'd be so hard to put in. Just hey, this is Squirrel Girl. Cool, big bye. I mean,
they go weird with the Guardians universe.
Yeah.
So that's true. But I understand Guardians of the Galaxy. Squirrel Girl, it is a character I like. How, like, that's difficult. Even for me, I would say that's extremely difficult to play off. Because, yeah, I mean, geez, no.
Why? Tell me why.
Okay, first of all, she's never really been a center of anything.
Of course.
And she's always been in party teams like the Young Avengers, helped out with the Avengers Mansion and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it. I mean, she's been known as a babysitter. Her role is very limited in the universe itself. Like, she doesn't have big events. She'll help out here and there. She'll be there because she's already introduced into the world. But I mean, it's like saying basing a whole movie on Calendar Man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like he's there, but he's a B villain. Try to make him an A villain, and you're like, okay, that means you probably can, but it's just a hard stretch, and it's just there's really no point. I mean, there's so
you
many
don't see her in the universe, period, or
No.
what if she just shows up kind of like in the background?
If she did a if she did a
Infinity
cameo,
War, she's like mentioned or something, or
well, I can see that more than anybody. Be like, hey, look, hey, but what's the point? Hey, I had a cameo. Hey,
Nah.
that's it. It's not worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You understand what we're trying to say?
But during the Infinity Gauntlet, you don't think they need as many superheroes as possible? So you don't think that it should be okay to introduce her to the
Oh
universe?
my God, we shouldn't pat him with her tail.
I don't know what she's gonna even do.
No.
She could be one of the people that disappears.
I would feel like that would just be fluffing it.
Okay.
I feel like they don't need to fluff it. They have enough people right now with what they have. They don't need to fluff it.
Okay.
Which sometimes what Marvel has is a problem is that they have so many great notable characters. Like sometimes it feels like they're just throwing them in there just to throw them in there. Like, you can't forget about me, Squirrel Girl. You can't forget about me, this and that,
eventually I would like to see the roster of characters just kind of expand, because based on memes that I've seen, like going back to Civil War, that airport scene where they're running at each other, and it's like 6 versus 6, but the comic book was like how many, like 50, 70, 100 characters going at each other. So that'd be awesome. That'd be like epic to see a not Braveheart level battle of like superheroes and comic characters, but just expand the roster, like getting a big old cast of
That's
characters.
true.
No matter how weird they are, because you can buy into this world, the mutants and people with powers, and you've seen Nightcrawler.
But isn't that what they did with
Unscreen.
X-Men 3 and it bombed?
No, they
had
didn't.
more to do with story than putting those characters in there.
Those are not. I mean, those were characters that weren't even like popular. Some of them were made up. Most of them were made up.
Well, Squirrel Warrior isn't really popular though.
You're right, but they can't introduce her to an episode of like. I'm not saying like a Jessica Jones or Luke Cage. I'm not saying it's the same. I know it's a different part, but I mean like
if they
some
introduce
kind
it in the TV world, then she'll never be in the movies, and you'll never get that whole movie thing.
So what do you think is going to happen now that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is introducing the Inhumans?
Squirrel Girl is never going to happen. I'm going to say
they're
that.
making an Inhumans movie.
But Inhumans
No,
is
I think that's done.
Is it?
Yeah, there's no more.
Inhumans though. Inhumans is big in its own though.
It is.
It is, but because you got the king of the Inhumans is Black Bolt, and he is a big figure. That's the thing though. He is a big figure. He is someone. He's huge. I mean, he is the king of the Inhumans and all their type of species.
Mhm.
So he is a big deal. So that's a little slightly different, but nah. I'll put this right now. Squirrel Girl will never happen.
You brought up Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. possibly, but just speaking on that real quick, there is rumors that there might be a Ghost Rider.
Yeah, they want
on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
They're looking for the character, I believe, or something like that.
The reason this kind of rumor popped up was San Diego Comic-Con is coming up soon, and like some of the buses are decked out with like the pop culture stuff, and one of them was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it has a flaming chain that goes across it. So people are kind of speculating that this could be the addition of Ghost Rider to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You're more of a Marvel zombie. Do you know of any other? Because there was an actual specific character in the show that had this ability that kind of would flame objects. and a chain was one of the things in the show. So it might have been leaning to possibly that character, but people are really gravitating to it could possibly be Ghost Rider.
Well, Ghost Rider's always been a fun character that everybody would want to have a reboot.
And did you know there
because
was
Cage killed it?
a different version of Ghost Rider, like in the comics? Right
Yeah,
now? So
there's a guy that drives a muscle car.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Not,
I read a couple
Johnny Blaze.
I read a kind of few issues on it. I dropped it. I wasn't a fan of it. Not saying it's not the best work or anything like that. It didn't appeal to me. But yeah.
Robbie Reyes is that?
Mhm.
Yeah, Robbie Reyes is the new Ghost Rider, as far as the comic goes.
So yeah, I don't know.
That would be cool though. I mean, I think Ghost
That would
Rider.
be Johnny Blaze.
needs
Is
to
not
make
Robbie
it.
Reyes though.
Not that cool.
No.
Okay.
Sorry
Very
to
cool.
squish bubbles here. Wreck-It Ralph 2.
It was finally announced. Wreck-It Ralph 2. There's a lot of sequel talk coming out, like the whole.
But that was a great movie, dude.
was.
It was such a great video game cartoon movie.
It was awesome how they had all the other properties too, like the Street Fighters were in there and Halo kind of stuff.
Bowser,
Pac-Man,
Yeah. That was
Hubert.
Such a fun movie. And yeah, I think the original cast is coming back, so
Okay.
all the main
so
characters are going to be there.
Superman, John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly is
That dude
great.
is one of my favorite comedians out there. Oh, John C.
That's the
Reilly.
thing. He
Dr. Brule. You ever heard of Dr. Brule?
Yeah.
Dr. Steve Brule, get it right,
Yeah.
okay? Check it out. Yes.
Yeah.
My brother makes me watch that every week.
When you had to go give a semen sample, because I need a sample, he gives them urine, feces. That was hilarious.
But he seemed to come out more as a comedic actor in the last few years now too, huh? Because he was, from what I remember, he was a more of a character, kind of dramatic actor, John C. Reilly. And then I think when he teamed up with
Will Ferrell?
Tim and Eric and Will Ferrell, like
Wow.
he just started his huge comedic.
Well,
Dominance
what
now.
did you used to see him in the past? I mean, wasn't he in What's Eating Gilbert Grape as one of the? I don't know if that was it or if he was. I know for a fact he was in what Gangs of New York as a really serious character. But what other movies was he in?
Like before comedy stuff, let's see his filmography here. Going back. Oh, a lot of these are art comedies that I'm reading through.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're right. So he was in Gangs of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Chicago,
Don't forget,
Perfect Storm, Magnolia.
Galaxy.
He was in
Guardians
Guardians.
of the
Yeah.
Galaxy.
We're looking at serious movies. I mean, would you count that?
Serious movie?
Thin
The
Red
old
Line.
serious movies. They were how he got his star.
He was in
Yeah,
a
for
serious movie. God, here's one where his son was one of like a school shooting.
Really?
Yeah. That was like
Yeah,
3
you're right.
years
What's
ago.
Eating Gilbert Grape? He was in that one too.
He's been around, dude.
Yeah, for a long time, but I'd always seen him more as a dramatic character actor as opposed to just like the huge comedy stuff that he's doing now.
Really?
Yeah, so that's why I'm just going back to the IMDb. But a lot of it is, comedies and Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights. That's
Oh
right.
my God.
Yeah. Right on. I wonder where they're gonna base this, or like you think it'll have a lot to do with like internet gaming type of stuff? This Wreck-It Ralph.
No, I don't think I'll go to internet gaming because
No?
I think with this it hits nostalgia with the grown-ups, and their kids gonna be watching it no matter what. So I think they're gonna continue with the rap, stuff like that. So
Yeah, because there's no word on what the story is gonna be about, so I'm curious like how they're.
You guys
what the
already
sequel's gonna be about.
talk about Alan. Is it Alan or Ellen or Anton Yelich?
Oh, Anton Yelchin. Yeah,
Yelchin.
he's passing it. We did that last week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah. You a
Okay.
fan of his?
I liked his work. I mean,
Award.
I didn't really see him make a bad movie. Not to be like, oh, this guy. I liked his roles in like Star Trek and you know him and Alpha Dogs. He had some good
That
movies.
was an amazing. That's
Yeah,
where
we
I
talked
first saw
about
him,
it,
Alpha
yeah.
Dog. That movie, that performance at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's still. Every time I see his face, I just picture that performance. Just how, because it was really good.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I forgot to bring up. You were the Ultimate Edition.
Oh yeah, I was gonna kind of slide that in when you guys doing a Game of Thrones talk because I was planning on binging, like going through finish season 4 and getting into it more on last week Tuesday. But that's when the Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition came out, so I pretty much spend the whole day watching that.
Yeah.
And like the special features of it and everything. But like I text you, it's like this is the movie that should have been out in theaters, and I talked to you about it. Like, how it just the pieces back in there. It's not the perfect movie. It went. Told you. My rating was about 7ish. This Ultimate Cut brings it up to a 9. Like I'd give it a solid 9.
That's.
It still has its flaws. It still has the main flaws of like just the kind of. A lot of people complain about the Martha issue.
Martha.
But
What about Martha?
Remember
What was
there's
your-
a reason to connect and become BFFs.
Okay.
how did you
Your
feel?
mom was Martha? My mom was Martha.
That actually.
She's dead. Mine's dead.
No, you have to save her. She wasn't dead. Bruce is dead. Clark is not dead. That's the whole. What did you feel about that Martha business?
That was one of the things that at least that I cared about. Honestly, I was more distracted on how bad Doomsday looked. I wanted
Just
Doomsday.
the look of Doomsday was really your own gripe?
I wanted to see how the comic books, how that looked. He looked just so good and terrifying. And this one is kind of like a Berserker meets, let's see, I don't know, Clayface. And I wasn't a big fan of it.
I wasn't a big fan of it either. That's a valid. I mean, you're all right to not like that, but at the same time, that was your number one complaint. I've talked to other
Honestly?
people. Someone else's complaint was, "Oh, Batman and Superman didn't fight enough."
I
I mean, okay, overall, as far as the story went, people
It's
complained about how.
my honest biggest complaint, which is not even a big deal to me, is the fact that I wanted to see a little bit more about Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Flash. A little bit more of a cameo there of them trying to, like, even at the end, them coming to go get him. Like, so now we have to wait and see what's going to happen there and how they're going to bring them all together. Like, I wanted, since this is Dawn of Justice, like, let's run them up, let's go get them, and talking to each one. So that was my complaint, but future movies can dictate something different.
Yeah, what
like,
this movie tried to do, because it tried to cram a lot into just this one movie. And it was Dawn of Justice, the setup for future stuff in the DC universe with the Justice League. So it kind of threw in those cameos in there just to kind of give it the title. Because, again, they tried to cram so much in there. But again, how he complained about, or his issue was kind of the Doomsday look, and just he wanted more of the cameos. It didn't deserve, like I told everybody, it didn't deserve the critical bashing that it got, and even the fan bashing that it got. Because again, I told him one of the gripes I talked to somebody else was, oh, Batman and Superman didn't fight enough. His gripe was, oh, Doomsday's look. It's like, okay, if it was such a critical and fan bashed movie, why aren't more people talking about, oh, the story was not cohesive and it didn't make sense kind of stuff. But people more complain about little nitpicky things. So that's why I say it didn't deserve the bashing that it got. But this Ultimate Edition, putting that stuff back in, fleshes a lot of it out more. There's a lot more to the desert scene, like the setup of like setting Superman up. That whole court sequence of that lady complaining about Superman, and that's why they go after him. More stuff with Lois, kind of her arc throughout the movie, like her.
Yeah, they just need to kill her off.
he
Lois.
hates.
You hate Lois?
Amy Adams
so
as Lois.
much, bro.
So you rather have something along the lines of like Injustice, where
she dies.
She's dead,
She just dies.
and now
You know what? She can die in between the movies. Like, oh, she died of cancer, and we can't show this.
More so because he hates
The chemistry
yeah.
between her and Clark and Superman and what's his name?
Henry Cavill.
Henry is horrible.
It's not the best.
It is horrible. No, it's horrible. That chemistry is bad. Like, I seen them together on the scene, and I was like, oh my god.
what?
Killing this movie, then they're leaving, like, oh, okay, I can enjoy this movie again now. And then they get back together, like, oh my goodness. It's like, friggin', Jamie and Cersei have a better chemistry, and they're brother and sister.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather see that ancestral love than these two.
I can agree with the chemistry
But it won't
portion,
kill the movie for me.
but I don't hate it as bad as he does.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as the
That's
movie
it.
goes, it gives you more about Lois's investigation with the bullet and trying to figure out the pieces of like the Senate explosion and this and that. There's more Clark in the movie. There's more Superman bits in the movie. More of a Clark going to Gotham City investigating who this Batman is and stuff like that. So this movie is much better than what was released in theaters, like the Ultimate Cut. It's not gonna. It has actually changed some people who say they absolutely hated it
Okay.
to, oh, it is a better movie. I like this movie, and that they'll watch it again, type of thing.
So, have they announced anything about what's going to happen in the future movies? Are they going to introduce the Green Lantern as a actual Green Lantern, not a Ryan Reynolds, whatever that was?
As far as the
You
next,
know,
DC's got their lineup planned out till 2020. Green Lanterns is probably the last one on the list. Like
Okay.
back out in 2020 that we'll have a Green Lanterns movie. It'll be Green Lantern Corps.
Okay.
So we'll have more than just Hal Jordan. In
Okay.
the movie. But yeah, they got their lineup set. I mean, Suicide Squad is next, Wonder Woman, and then the Justice League.
Okay.
They're gonna make a Cyborg movie, a Flash movie, Aquaman movie.
That would be
And
sweet.
then, later on down the line is the
I
Green
mean-
Lantern Corps. So I do recommend watching the Ultimate Cut, so you can see, that this is a better version of the movie.
I was wondering what's going to happen with actually all this, how their timeline is working,
What timeline?
their DC timeline. So, like, you know how Marvel sets their timeline of this is what movies are coming out.
So far from what they've said after the BVS thing, it's set right now. This is it right now, and which is what he just repeated right now. So I just can't wait for Doctor Strange and Suicide Squad.
Not even Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel?
Nobody even cast for that yet.
Really?
It's on their slate of movies, but no director, no story, no
But,
cast.
so, Black Panther, you're not excited?
That one.
That
I mean, like, he took I thought Civil War, he took the show. Like, I
we
wanna
said-
see more.
I think we said the same thing. It was him and
Him
Spider-Man.
and Spider-Man were like,
yeah.
definitely stole the show in Civil War.
Oh yeah. So, moving on. Let's see, a lot of TV stuff too, man. Jeez, we already talked about Ghost Rider. Oh, just a little quick news: Daredevil coming out on Blu-ray. I'm excited for that.
That's funny to have a show that's already on Netflix, a full season, come
Mhm.
out on DVD. But
This is more for me, especially the type of person like, yes, I want to have this on Blu-ray and just be able to take it anywhere else.
more for me because I want to see the special features.
And and behind the scenes and stuff like that, and featurettes, commentary, because I'm a big fan of extras.
I'm a huge fan of that.
And my dad will definitely love to see this in Blu-ray and everything like that, and seeing everything behind it. Because remember, it was funny. I was telling him that, my dad's no way, shape, a nerd or anything like that. He'll watch action movies here and there. And about 2-3 weeks ago, I was at his house, and he was like, "Let me tell you about this show I've been watching on Netflix. It's pretty amazing. This guy's called Daredevil, and he does this, and that." And then there's this other guy. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he's called The Punisher. But anyway, and and I'm like, "You watch?" And I was just like, "You watch that?" He goes, "Yeah, it's amazing." Like, "Yeah, I've always watched it. Like, I've been watching this." And he's like, "It's amazing." And then my mom comes in. "Did you tell him about it?" I'm like, "Oh my god, you watching too?" So that was pretty cool. It just shows how well it was made.
It was very well, yeah.
So I'm excited for this Blu-ray, and I'm definitely gonna get it. I'm gonna get this box set. And that's it.
Right.
That was it.
Wanted to mention Constantine. Did you ever watch the TV show?
No, but you said I should, and I need to.
Yeah, and actually really cool about this is CW.
Mm-hmm.
The CWC, their online streaming, I guess, TV shows. They're actually streaming the one and only season of Constantine. I don't know how they pulled that off because that was an NBC show. But I think because they're taking all this
Maybe it was
DC
shown
properties.
at NBC, but it was their property the whole time.
No,
No.
because it would have been on CW.
Well, that happens
It
a
was
lot. Like
it was an NBC show.
Like NBC will have shows on Fox, and vice versa. That happens quite often.
Yeah,
Quite
so
often.
they get-
Not so much like NBC,
Syndicate,
but like
yeah.
Universal, which is owned, like Universal kind of stuff would be on different channels, or Fox shows would be on different channels, but not so much a Channel 4 owned show on Channel 11 kind of thing. But either way, on CWC, Constantine is on there. They're streaming their full season. and I recommend you guys check it out. It was really cool show. I think underrated and bummed that it didn't get a chance. Hopefully, what this can do is maybe they're kind of giving it a trial run, see how like the fan base is out there. If more people latch onto it, maybe they can bring it back.
Well, they're doing it kind of like a reboot.
I would love to do that.
Wow.
And they even had, after Constantine was canceled, the actor Matt Ryan who played Constantine, he came on Arrow.
Yeah, he did.
He did that little crossover episode, which was super cool.
He made it a couple times.
Didn't he also do a episode with God? Was it League? Not Justice League. What's the one where it has everybody?
The Legends?
The Legends. There you go.
No, he hasn't been on there.
No. Okay.
No.
Also, I'm a fan of this Titan. Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan.
Season 2 coming out for next year. I love that manga. I love that series, man. It's so good.
Are you into anime or anything like that?
The ones I watched was Full Metal Alchemist, Bleach, Samurai Champloo, were the main ones. But
Bleach is gonna end.
The Bleach already ended.
No.
I heard that they already ended it.
Nope.
There was like 300 and something episodes, and
Whoa.
they're done.
Man, the manga's ending on episode chapter 74.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. But I mean, like, me personally, I like dubbed. I like to watch my movies and not read them.
I like to read them.
I don't like to read them.
It feels authentic. I'm like, oh hell yeah.
So I mean,
Except for Dragon Ball, I think it sounds better in the English dub than
Dragon
the
Ball.
sub with that high pitch, voices.
yeah. But yeah, I watched Dragon Ball and I thought it was good. Favorite was honestly was the Cell games. I don't know how if you guys are.
The Cell Saga, yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was one of the best. I like the Majin Buu
Yeah.
saga. That was pretty cool too.
It's kind of sticking with the anime. Are you a fan of Death Note?
Yes.
Yes.
Read it and watched the animated series and the movie.
So Netflix is coming out with a live action adaptation of this.
American version of it then?
Yeah.
Because the Japanese has already been out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Japanese has been out for a while.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I have it.
Right on.
You ever had it, seen it, read it, nothing?
I know like the synopsis of it, so I just added it to my Netflix queue. So it'll be
Nice.
one I'll be trying to catch up on.
Is it already out on Netflix then?
No, they just started production on it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you guys were aware for Netflix that I don't know if you guys talked about it or even know about it. It's called Black Mirror, and Black Mirror.
Yeah.
you
I've
know,
never watched though.
dude, it's a modern day Twilight Zone meets Outer Limits. Amazing.
I like both too.
And Netflix bought the rights and said we're gonna keep the same director and the same writers. You do your thing. I'm just funding it.
Oh, so it was an outside channel. So what was one of the
It
channels?
was made in
like
Britain or something like
yeah,
that.
it's one of those BBC.
Oh,
It's not. It doesn't have the BBC
Imports.
name, but
and
it's
that's why I love Netflix, man, because
Yeah.
they have the power to do that. And Netflix, they're becoming a force, dude. I mean, geez, their originals are amazing. They're doing good work. They do a lot of seasons of shows that have already ended.
yeah.
Young Justice. Hopefully, season 3 comes up pretty soon. But yeah, that's cool. And then
It's all pretty much TV news.
yeah, that's pretty much it for the 3 news.
Do you want to talk about the issue 2 of Captain America?
Oh yeah, so I don't know about if you heard about this, Mike. People lost their shit when Captain America on the last page of Captain America, the first one, he said Hell Hydra. Holy fuck, man! People were like, "What is Marvel doing? This is stupid. Blah blah blah." Hating is like, "What do they think? They're killing off Captain America." They were just going all out, and I was like, me and Andrew were like, dude, this is the first issue. You have no idea where they're going. You have no idea what's going on, and it was just crazy. And people were like, it's funny because a lot of people were like pushing, don't change him, keep him the same, but make him gay. Make him gay. Make him.
Yeah,
It's like, I'm like, oh my god, like, are you kidding me? But anyways, I read the second issue. And it explains everything. It really does. And it has to do a lot with Secret Wars. And
Secret Wars was a good read too. Really
so
good read.
He was kind of like brainwashed. Kind of.
Almost.
His
like
memories.
Bucky?
His memories were manipulated a little bit. Kind of like Bucky, yes.
Okay.
But this was done by one of the Infinity Cubes. So yeah. So anyways, that's it. I just want to say people were stupid for it. overreacting.
You know, I mean, a lot of people jump the gun.
A
lot of people,
in
I
this
mean-
industry all the time.
Of course, I mean, let them explain it if there's a reason. I mean, if there's been some shows where they don't know what's going on and they get bashed, and like you said about Superman, I mean, let them go in their direction, and then after it's done, then have that opinion. But I mean,
Yeah.
give it a chance.
It's funny how they just lost it. Issue 1, the last panel, and it's like, oh, the world ends. You ruined my childhood. You ruined the meaning of Captain America throughout all these years, and you just ruin a national icon. And it's like, okay,
It's like, grow up.
take it easy.
Yeah, that was it for comics. But also, I'm reading Bloodshot. I gave that a try. Bloodshot by Valiant Comics.
Bloodshot. I'll take a look.
And it's right now they're on like an island with there are a lot of people, and Bloodshot's a genetically altered human being, kind of like it's Weapon X project. Think
Okay.
about it in those terms, and that's what he is. And he's in an island where he gets to meet a lot of other of his Weapon X projects. So pretty cool.
Bloodshot.
Bloodshot. It's I like the reading. I like it.
I'll take a look.
But besides that, that's pretty much it. What do you got for video games?
Yeah, well, we mentioned earlier, they're remastering the
Oh, that's
Bioshock.
right.
That was like the big news for me, 'cause being such a huge Bioshock
Oh,
fan,
yeah.
as well as you, Mike, you know. But yeah, so they're remastering it for the current gen consoles.
Okay.
They're gonna come with the all the DLC stuff except the multiplayer portion of Part 2. But
That's a good
yeah.
thing.
I enjoyed it.
I wasn't a big fan.
I
but,
thought it was fun because it was different than
you know,
the FPS stuff.
You know, the thing about it that I don't like is like, I guess I'm a little bit of an achievement whore, and I like getting all the achievements. But
I
I'm
noticed,
not-
dude, going through your trophy list, you're a true gamer, dude. You
Yeah.
have so many games at 100%. That's pretty cool.
So I mean, at the same time, I mean, I don't like to get multiplayer achievements. I'm never a fan of that. So I like to play, you know, Call of Duties and all those types of games, but like I don't like doing it for multiplayer. So like if they're gonna remaster it and bring those trophies back or, you know, achievements, I don't want to do it.
Well, because they're cutting out the multiplayer, you won't get that. So I'm sure you'll have this.
Yeah, but
main
the
story.
DLCs were pretty great in itself. So I
Yeah,
mean, if to remaster that and see better graphics, that's gonna be pretty cool.
That's gonna be awesome. Because you got to get on those games too, man. The Bioshock games.
I played
That's,
the first one. That's it.
Part 2 is good. I don't know if it's bashed or like hated.
A lot of people hate it because it's you know, it was a different person that wrote the script and all that stuff, and then it goes. I don't know if it was a different maker per se, but
it's always been Irrational Games.
Okay.
It's Ken Levine behind the whole thing. So.
But the fact that you're a big daddy instead of a person, I mean,
It was different.
it was different.
It
But
was just different games. I still enjoyed it. I still
did
loved
too.
it.
I really enjoyed. Was it Infinite or Infinity? I don't
Infinite.
know. Yeah, it was really well done. Of like I don't know if it was supposed to be a prequel or just a new, you know, like a second world, like World 2 of, hey, because I mean it's about multi-universes, so I mean I don't know if it's supposed to be prequel at the same time or
Well,
what.
it's all in the same world, so that's.
Well, I don't think it's a certain timeline if it's at the same time, but because you mentioned it's multiple universes, it's just a different universe,
Yeah.
and they're like the story does connect as you saw in the end and the DLC. But that's my big video game news, and I've just been playing Division and just collecting all the intel and stuff. So I got like half the map cleared of intel and just upgrading and getting my orange weapons or whatever.
Well, okay. You need to play on Xbox, and I can get you whatever you want. But anyways,
he's already sold on PS4.
I've already invested on the PS4.
I know. I'm not gonna get a PS4 until the new God of War comes out or Final Fantasy VII reboot.
Gotta get it, man, for that Last of Us and Uncharted.
Seriously, right? One day.
Let's you're all done. Any news for me?
Pretty much it, man. I got nothing else.
Cool. We're gonna wrap up. It's game over for us.
Yep. Thanks for coming along, Mike.
Thank you for joining.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome anytime. You wanna come hang out?
Also, we do screenings, movie screenings. You should start joining up on that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This is Los.
Drew.
And Mike.
Have a good day, guys.
Later.